And I'm thinking specifically of athletes, let's say like basketball players who could benefit from any kind of explosive movement, but they're also like 20 feet tall and don't necessarily have the same amount of time for commitment to weightlifting. And you want to keep them engaged in that and benefit from it to do things from blocks or do power movements as opposed to doing full cleans or snatches. Would that be somewhere where you could where variety could have a role?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is, and I mean, you're actually not a terrible example. You're 6'2", which in weightlifting terms is very tall, right? Um, and when you look at a barbell, the fact that the plates are typically 45 centimeters tall, that's, I don't know who picked that height, but it's just, there's nothing special about it, right? So if you're, yeah, say you're a basketball player, or even, a lot of football players, a lot of athletes are quite tall, they're big. And if there's no reason they need to pull that from the floor, so if you have athletes like that doing lifts from, like you said, from blocks or from a hang, or just starting from a different height, one that
I
makes more
personally love
sense for
working from
someone who's
blocks.
6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, right? It's really useful. And honestly, the amount of, time and effort that goes into teaching, a good clean or a good snatch might not be warranted for an athlete, or, just someone who wants to play at doing some weightlifting exercises, but really their main goal is fitness. Um, and I think most people can learn the lifts all right. Got athletes in our club, they're in their 60s, who came in with no experience and have managed to learn how to do pretty decent clean and jerks and snatches. Do they learn them the same way they would have learned them had they come in at 13? No, but that's fine. But yeah, I think variety and, having a big repertoire for that content situation is really helpful for sure. Um, and to that,
Because
I think,
ultimately
and we'll
they're
get
they're
to,
benefiting from that triple extension, right? And that's sort of what you want, whether it's from the
oh yeah,
ground
they're just,
completely or yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, they're lifting a heavy thing fast. It doesn't, have to abide by the rules of weightlifting. I think pulls are excellent for that actually, because the technical demands of a pull are very low. Like it's anyone can learn a pull, a pretty decent pull pretty quickly, and you get a lot of what you would get out of it. There's some actually researchers doing work on that. I think it's Paul Comfort's lab, but I'll double check. And they're looking at, the force output and the dynamics of the pulls versus, the classic Olympic lifts in athletes. And I think it's to answer that exact question. Like if we take basketball players, and we have them doing pulls from blocks, do we get most of the same thing? And so far, their research is showing, yeah, I mean, the benefit's still there. It doesn't matter if they have a great turnover, they can rack the rib weight super well. And especially if someone's starting this a bit later, like as an adult, why spend the time? I mean, it's different if you have a 14-year-old and you're a competent, at teaching the Olympic lifts. Yeah, take the time, teach them, you've got potentially years and it's fun,
It's
right?
super fun. Yeah.
If you've got someone in their 20s or more and they just want to get a little more power in their hips, they don't have to, they don't have to do that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. So unless they really want to, there's other options. You can just do pulls. You can do squat jumps. You can do jump shrugs. There's lots of options.